Hello, I'm Rick Steiner. Welcome to Lux Life Discovered. My guest today is Patrick Price, who is known in this area as a 30A barista. So, welcome, Patrick.
Thank you. I appreciate
Glad
it.
to have you with us today.
I'm glad to be here.
So, when I first saw your Instagram page, it
Yeah.
caught my attention immediately because, well, first of all, the 615 we know is
Yep.
Nashville, and that's where you came from, and I'm from that area basically.
Yeah.
So, I thought, man, we got a good connection here already. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But so, tell me a little bit what made you leave Nashville to come to this area?
To be completely honest, God, we, my wife and I, we met in Nashville. We
Okay.
got married and grew up there our whole lives. After being there and getting married, we wanted to move away a little bit, and a whole lot of life happened. So we moved to Sarasota for a year, actually. And then while we were down there, we had a kid very soon. And then a month later, a hurricane happened. Came up here to get away from the hurricane. While we were here, we are like, all right, this is it. This is where we're going to stay. So we moved 5 months later, and here we are.
And you've been here for how long?
Almost a year now.
Yeah.
Be a year in March.
Okay. And so, well, good. So you're a barista,
Hmm.
but not just a typical barista.
Nope.
So
Yeah.
kind of tell people what makes you unique from everybody else.
Yeah. So my service is the first and only personal barista service in all of America, which I take
Oh
pride
wow,
in.
I didn't realize that part.
Yeah. There are a lot of coffee carts, there are a lot of trailers, people come to events, but there's no barista service that comes into your home. They bring a machine, make you what you like, get to know you. It's a little bit more personal.
Yeah.
So I take a lot of pride in that, especially being the only one here and such a vacation home or vacation town where a lot of different people come in, get to meet a lot of new people, make some connections, and give people the best coffee here.
So how did you come up with this concept?
Uh, I came up with it by just taking some time to think. Honestly, I I've worked in coffee a long time,
Okay.
and I've done a lot of barista jobs, a lot of management jobs. So when I wanted to move forward with the company with their coffee, it wasn't happening. So I thought, okay, how can I do this on my own? So I thought of what I'm good at, where there is a gap in the market, and how I can serve people. Took a little time to think, and my wife and I slowly developed this idea, and here we are.
So what was it like with family, for example? Obviously, you and your
Yeah,
wife were thrilled to death about this. What did
yeah.
family or friends say when you first told them?
uh, to be honest, because it's not new. It started last year, but we we keep things very private between us, and it gets deeper. The way that we think and want to do well for our families is very different from the way that we were raised. So when it comes to something like a big venture like this, we haven't told family as much, and we
That's
just we
safer that
keep it a
way.
little bit more low key with them, and just keep it between us and good friends. And they love the idea, and it's I'm excited to be able to bring more friends in and get to know more people.
Well, it's exciting to share it with them when it's a
Yeah,
success rather than because
yeah,
you
yeah,
get regardless of what you do sometimes, especially when you're younger, starting out and doing different things. The ones that have never lived outside their comfort zone are the
yeah,
first to like, oh, it's not going to work.
yep,
You don't need to do that. And so
exactly.
it's been easy to get discouraged and think, well,
Yeah,
or listen to them. And I've never had
yeah.
that problem. I agree. Maybe it's a good thing or bad thing. I don't know. But
That's
it's
good.
like
I'll take
I
it.
always, if I have an idea, and thank goodness my wife, we've been married for 41 years, and I'm sure there are things that many times that she's gone to bed at night thinking, "Good Lord, when
He's
will it
crazy.
stop?" Yeah.
Yep.
So,
But it always works out.
yeah. Well, good. So with your service, what I like about it, especially as an event planner,
Yeah.
is that it's mobile and that you
Very.
don't have to have a set location for people to come to you. You go to whether it's a corporate event, private event,
Yep.
someone's home, a dinner party,
Anywhere.
large or small, you can take your well, I
The
guess
machine. Yeah.
yeah, and then
That's it.
do your custom coffee there.
Yeah. All I need is a counter
A plug-in.
and a plug, and
Yeah.
that's it. That's all I need.
Wow. So how was it when you first came here? Like when you first approached people about the idea
Yeah.
and getting the business started?
When I first started, it was it was interesting to see because I wanted the brand to be very upscale and luxurious. And by the companies and places that were upscale, they received it very well. So
Okay, yeah.
it almost lined up perfectly. The places that uh, didn't quite match with my brand, there wasn't much reception, but places like Alice Beach and Rosemary Beach, they love the idea.
Yeah.
People enjoy the convenience and the personal touch. So it's started quicker than I expected to and gotten a little more popular than I expected it to. So I'm thankful
That's,
for it.
well,
Absolutely.
sure, yeah. Well, and you did hit the two markets there that this would appeal to.
Yeah.
It's a very, very smart decision on
It
that.
took
So,
some time to think about it.
yeah. Well, so like when people come in from for vacation or come
Mhm.
here for the season, so how do they, like, is it word of mouth initially, a referral, or
As far as booking,
yeah?
it started off word of mouth. Now we have a website. You can go to a website and book my services directly there. I'll be having very soon a team of people, a team of baristas that so we can expand a little bit more. Or you can go to my Instagram. My website is there, and now it's becoming a little bit more um, through social media
Yeah.
and things like that.
So, okay, I was going to ask you about if you had plans to expand, and
Yes,
when will that happen, and what are you thinking?
very soon. I'm having a meeting this week that I'm hoping will help our company expand a
Yeah.
good bit more. So I already have one person working, and my goal is to have a few here and then eventually expand to other cities as well
Okay.
and
Yeah.
do it all over the country.
Well, I tell you what, you put some great videos and stories on your Instagram.
Thank you.
Down in Alice Beach, that I had trouble,
Yeah.
putting on my page, but we figured that out, and I'm sure it was something I was doing. But no, but so the whole concept is really unique. And then tell us what type of coffees. I mean, what makes
Yeah.
tell us about the coffee you
I'll get,
started.
I'll
Yeah.
get geeky about
All
this.
right, I want you to get geeky about
Yeah.
it because that's how
So
we learn. So yeah.
the coffee I in particular use is called Intelligentsia coffee. It started in Chicago, I believe. And when I traveled out to LA for the first time, it was the best coffee I'd ever had in my whole life. And I still haven't found anywhere better. So I sourced their beans. There's some tricks and tips I have with coffee that I don't share that make it the best.
Gives it
Um,
your special touch.
gives it a
Yeah.
special touch. Yep.
Okay.
So with my service, I wanted something where people can get a cup when they go to. First things first, I'll start. There's not that much great coffee in 30. It's hard to find a place that's consistent and good. So I want it to be that for people.
Right.
Second, you can go out and pay a good amount for coffee and still be disappointed and it's not made right or it's not hot enough. So my business helps people get the exact coffee they want, tasting exactly how they can make tweaks to it. And then what I'm very excited about is we partner with a chef who's from Food Network, and she's doing all of my pastries and
Okay.
things like that. I don't know if you know her. Her name is Molly Arnett. She's fantastic. But she was on Chopped on Food Network, and she makes the best gluten-free
Now, is she
pastries.
local too?
She
Or
is.
okay.
Yeah, she's a
That's,
private chef in Alice Beach, really all over.
okay. Yeah.
So we've partnered together just to bring an amazing full experience
I
to
was gonna
people.
say, yeah. Wow.
So it's going to be a good year.
So you get the beans in, you do your own grinding and
Yep.
processing, whatever the proper
Yeah.
term is. But yeah.
So our
So,
machine, you take the beans, it grinds it itself. The whole setup is very mobile. I just have my
so you even
milks.
do this on site when you're doing your event. Okay.
Yep. The entire setup can fit within about 2 by 2 feet.
Seriously.
But you can get anything that you would get at a coffee shop.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
It's new.
So what have you thought about packaging the beans and selling the beans also?
Yes.
Is that the
Actually,
plan?
I
Yeah.
had that conversation. I called uh, the coffee beans company yesterday. And they said they couldn't. So I've already started to figure out how to do my own line
Right.
of coffee and supply that here and gift it to my customers who book my services. So
Interesting.
it's in the works.
Yeah. So I mean, that's just interesting to me because I would know nothing about being a barista. I know how to drink coffee,
Yeah.
but that's the extent.
Yep.
So when you say you've been a barista for a long time,
Hmm.
where were you before, and how did
Yeah.
what piqued your interest?
It's a lot of places. I started where most baristas started. I started at Starbucks when
Okay.
I was a teenager, and just it was frappuccinos and things like that. And then I got a job with Restoration Hardware, the furniture company,
Yes, they're in,
but they have those
yeah,
cafes.
right.
So I worked there for a few years and worked my way up. And they have the wine bars and they have excellent coffee.
We used to go there before they had all that. And
Really?
then, yeah, and then all of a sudden you find out you can go there and have mimosas and
Yep.
coffee and all that. Yeah, it's like,
It's very nice.
yeah,
So
yeah,
being there really established my desire to serve upscale coffee and to see what it really can be, because their program is fantastic as well. It started in Japan. There's a whole story to it, but they take it very seriously, and that's where I got a love for doing something excellently. The whole environment is beautiful. So I was there for a few years, and then did some other career paths, personal training, just to try to get by from providing for a family. But
sure.
coffee kept calling my name, and now I'm back.
That's interesting. So is your wife involved in the company?
She unofficially, yes.
Unofficially,
Yeah,
yeah.
she's the best.
She gets to hear about it anyway. Yeah,
Yeah,
all
she
the
gets
different.
tired of it. All the ideas, like, babe, what about? And she's
Right.
like, it's 11 at night.
It's
So,
like, can you give it a rest?
yeah,
No.
she is. But she helps with services. All the machines. She's just the best.
Yeah.
So I
She's
couldn't
your
do
big
without her.
supporter, and yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. That's my wife. The people are like, "Do you work on events together?" I'm like, "No,"
No.
because we would like butt heads on that.
Yeah.
But she hears about it, and
Yep.
the good and the bad. And she's like, "I thought you weren't going to work with that kind of client anymore." It's
Yeah.
like, well,
Uh-huh.
pays the bills. So,
Yeah, you
yeah.
don't have to worry about it.
So,
Yeah.
but no, it's interesting because if you don't have that good support from your spouse,
Yeah.
then it's
It's been a gift. I couldn't do it without her.
well, good. So, will you ever have a storefront, or you like the
Mm,
mobile part? Because the mobile aspect
it's a good question.
seems more appealing to me.
Yeah, for the foreseeable future, I like the mobile idea and the whole structure of it. It's less regulations, less overhead.
Yeah.
You can see more people, you can control it a little bit better. One day, eventually, might do my own coffee shop and just do it amazingly, but that's probably
Especially
further
with a
down the.
partner with the pastries and everything.
Yeah,
That's just icing on the cake there.
yeah,
Literally, it
yeah,
just
literally
yeah.
icing on the cake. No, I'll keep it in my mind,
Yeah.
but as of now, I'd love to just see it grow over the whole country.
So what's like from a corporate event? What's how large of a corporate event can you do?
We can go up to about, it depends on how long the event would be.
Sure.
But let's say we have 2 hours, we could do up to about 50 people.
Okay.
That would just involve having a couple baristas there and machines. We'll be doing an event in March, which is about 30 people.
Okay.
So it doesn't take long to make the coffees, and the pastries come already ready. So it's fairly quick, and we can do anywhere from 3 or 4 people up to 50.
Okay. Good. So when you do the private homes and private
Mhm.
dinners for or parties for like Alice Beach, that group,
Yeah,
what's the most common response from them?
they love it. Everybody says it's the best coffee they've had, which I'm very, very grateful to hear because that's my goal. Um, it's just something new and something
It is.
different people haven't seen. So I've looked at private chefs, there are private hibachi things, but there's no private
Right.
coffee service.
Oh, and that's what everybody in this area really kind of caters to because
Yeah.
they want their privacy.
Hmm.
And a lot of, we have so many people here from different segments of the movie industry, record industry,
Yeah.
all of that.
They don't want to
So
go
when they're
out.
here, they don't want to go out. They'd rather have their group of people,
Yeah.
whoever that may be, at their place. And this gives them the privacy, but still the upscale touches
Yep.
that go with it, from the private
Absolutely.
chef to the private barista. So
That's
that's
the
really a
goal.
neat concept. Yeah.
Thank you.
So you're talking about other cities. Where would you like to
Mhm.
expand this?
It's a good question. In California, I would love to be out there. Maybe something like San Diego, where
Okay.
it's still by the coast. Um, Still have some ideas for
What
but
about Nashville?
that is, I would love to get your thoughts on it. Actually, I've thought about
Yeah.
that because it's not as much of a vacation town, but there's a huge coffee scene there.
There is a huge coffee scene, but all the music industry there,
Yeah,
not just everybody thinks Nashville country music. It's
it's
more than
not.
country music. It's
Yeah, It's way
so
more than that.
yeah, so many different genres there. But you've got such a influx of people in and out
Very true.
that, and so many people are moving there a day, like they are here. It's
Hmm.
crazy how the numbers are staggering. But still a high end clientele that would really,
Yeah.
I think, benefit and appreciate this
Okay.
because you definitely have a niche that
Yeah.
has not been met, and
Okay.
more people hear about it, the more appealing it is going to be.
Yeah.
So,
Well, give me an idea and I'll make it happen. So
all right,
we'll see
sounds
that
good.
soon.
Yeah. So, what do you do when you have any spare time? What do you like to do when you're?
Spare time.
Yeah. What is that?
Right now, it's changing diapers and getting my daughter to sleep. It's not very glamorous at all. Um, yeah, being with my family, that's the best. Boxing, that's my way I channel my energy and
Oh,
kind of
really?
center myself. So
Okay. So you go to a client's house and you're all calm, but they don't know you.
uh,
Just like
they don't know.
be able to punch
Yeah,
a
I'll
bag
punch
out.
them. Yeah. So keep calm from there, and sleepless nights I go to the
Right.
boxing bag. I'm just time with family. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. So yeah, because everything goes so quickly, as you'll find out as you get older
I'm
and
seeing
older.
that
Yeah.
very
And
quickly.
yeah, I'll look at things. In fact, on a previous podcast, I was talking about something in 2008. I'm thinking, well, that's just a couple years ago. And then you
Yeah,
think about it, it's like, that's 15 years ago. That's
I
crazy.
know.
And so it's amazing. Time is really kind of relative in a lot
Hmm.
of ways because it's going to fly by in some ways, and then some
Yeah.
days will drag forever. But yeah.
That's somebody told me the quote that when you're a parent, the days are short. No, the days are long, but the years are short. And
Yeah.
that's exactly how it's felt.
Well, and another thing from a parental standpoint is that when your child or children get older and have their own children, it's so fun to laugh at them.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't wait. I can't wait to see her be tired. Sorry if you see this.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, we do that with we do that. I just want to say which one. But
Just
yeah.
one of them.
But no. So the whole concept of what you've done, like I said, we've hit it. It hits a niche in the market. It's a very high end approach, but it's not just for high end clients.
Mm-mm.
So
No,
you
it's
can,
for anybody.
yeah,
Anybody that enjoys coffee and a good pastry and having it made how you like it. Anybody that likes saving time and being able to use that time with your family instead of waiting in line. We're for those people as well.
so like when you go to someone's house or event,
Mhm.
like do you go? How long are you there typically, and how long does it take you to get everything set up and started?
The whole service process, it depends on the amount of people, but let's say anywhere from 4 to 15 people. Takes about 10 minutes to load in, get the machine plugged in and warmed up. Takes about 40 minutes to do all the drinks, have some conversations, let everybody get another drink if they'd like one, and about another 10 minutes to close down. So no
Oh,
more than
really?
an
Yeah.
hour, hour and a half.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that's very convenient. Then.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do multiple services in a day.
Okay. So what's a typical day like for you?
Typical day probably isn't one. That's a tough question, but I would say a few services. Um, start earlier in the morning, and just for my own personal sake, I like to finish earlier in the afternoon. So anywhere from 6 a.m. to about 2 p.m.
Okay.
That's the work time, and
Yeah.
then
Of course, you would work around that schedule.
oh
too.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Don't want
yeah, yeah,
people
no,
think- yeah.
anytime you'd like,
Like,
yeah, it
yo,
would be,
call me after 2, please.
yeah. But with
So,
the chef that I work with, she does dinner services, and another big thing that I've noticed is people like to have a dessert coffee. So she'll make a dessert
right.
and have a later night 7, 8 p.m. coffee service to go with it, like a tiramisu and espresso. It's
Yeah.
really anytime people would like.
But, one thing I'm seeing in a lot of the events I do, especially in Arkansas and that part of the Mid South, we're doing coffee bars around 10, 11 when the bar closes.
Really?
Yeah, and that's
Hmm.
really become a popular
Okay.
add-on because you don't want the bar closes like 30 minutes to an hour before the event typically there.
Yeah.
And so the coffee is a good way to kind
Keep
of
them going.
keep the
Yeah.
alcohol at a minimum.
Yeah.
And
It's
so
very smart.
yeah, so that's really been a nice
Okay.
little add-on lately. So
Wow.
it's something for you to think
Yeah,
about
I'll
as
take
well.
notes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Absolutely.
So what would you like to see going forward? Are you going to branch out past the barista part? Or are you even thinking about anything else at this point?
At this point, I'm really focusing on, I'd like to develop some partnerships with my brand to really establish the amount of services that we do and to be
Right.
able to build a team of employees and baristas off of that. Once that happens, I'd like to expand to different cities. After that, I'm always I'm always going to the next thing.
Yeah.
So after that, I enjoy real estate as well. I've done a
Okay.
little bit of that and short-term rentals. But who knows? It's
So when you're doing your videos in Alice Beach and you're
hmm
looking at all the different architecture and the work you do there,
yeah,
does do you see it's like an unlimited opportunity in a way?
yeah,
I mean, because all the
absolutely.
construction there and
Yes, that's uh, I'll tell you that's who I'm meeting with in a couple of days. Just the amount of growth that's happening there, the level at which they do things, that's the type of city and company I'd like to partner
yeah.
with. So yeah, more to come on that.
Well, good, good. Well, and you've got the, like I said, the perfect niche here. So we're
Thank you.
that's good. I definitely have, like I said, been impressed following you
Thank you.
because that is something I like anything that's unique and people that have the gumption. And I've said
Thank
this
you.
on all three episodes today that we've recorded, but I like people that have the gumption and the passion to chase their vision
Thank
because
you.
that's what makes everybody unique. And you're finding this out too. I'm sure in this area, it's such a gem of a mesh of different um, personalities, different backgrounds,
Yeah,
different talents, and
it is.
it's fun to see. We've talked before the podcast started. We've talked about a couple of people that we now know, and
Yeah,
some of them we just know through social media, but we
yeah.
all know each other and follow each other and support each other, and that's
It's
huge.
it is that I was surprised at the amount of support that there is, especially in the young entrepreneur space
Yeah,
here. In Nashville, it's very competitive and stepping on people sometimes. Nashville's still amazing, but it's a different environment
yeah.
than I'm used to, and it's a pleasant surprise.
Well, you did bring a good point. There is a nice group of younger people that do support each other,
Hmm.
and that's where you have that too. And it's
Yeah,
typical of any regardless of where you are,
yeah,
because you'll have some people that will be receptive, and then some people that aren't, and
yeah,
that's just life.
yeah.
It'll always be that way. So,
That's true.
but well, no, I appreciate you being with us today,
Yeah, of
taking the time to be here.
course. Thanks for
So
having me. This
you're
has
welcome.
been a
You're welcome.
pleasure.
Well, okay, look at the camera then and tell people how to get in touch with you and
Yes.
go over your information.
You can direct book me by giving me a text at 615-509-8857. You can also connect with me on social media. The 38 Barista. Facebook is the same, the 38 Barista. If you have any questions, just shoot me a message on there. I'd love to talk. If you have any questions about coffee, how to steam milk, or pour espresso, I love geeking out about that as well. So feel free to reach me with all the questions.
So steaming milk. Let's just cover that real
Yep.
quick. So what's the special part about that?
um, there's so much to it. And I'll get geeky real quick. So that's where most people mess up their coffee. You can have an okay espresso, you can have a great espresso, you can have different kind of sweeteners, but if your milk is off, your coffee is off. So you have to, when you're steaming it, you have to introduce air into it, which creates microfoam, tiny bubbles. This is all nerdy stuff. I don't know if anybody cares about it, but if you can get your milk to be the texture of wet paint, that's when you have the perfect latte. So if it's super foamy or if it's thin, like just normal milk, it's a bad latte. But if you can get it wet paint, that's the perfect consistency. I'll give you some tips if you message me on how to do that.
That's interesting. See, learned something there
Yeah,
because I just like to get my coffee the way I want
yeah.
it.
It's
It's
it's such a science. It really is such a science to it, and it's fun to learn because you can always get better.
so that's right with baristas. I have such a good attitude. It's like a creation
Hmm.
or not, what word am I looking for? It's
Yeah,
like a concoction that they
it is.
created and
It's
that they can take pride in.
it's my artistic it's my artistic outlet. I think that's how you say it.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, I made a coffee and I thought it was the best art I had done in a while, and somebody's like, "That looks weird." And I was like, "Oh, okay." I actually got pretty upset about
Kind
it.
of like the design you put on
Yeah,
it.
the design
Yeah.
that I did in the milk. So it's my wife is a great painter and drawer, but for me, I realized coffee is where I do my art and my
Right.
creativity. And that's why I wanted to start a business, because if I can have that expression and that outlet while working, it's the perfect combination.
Sure. You should have told them, well, you can't do this. So
Oh,
yeah.
man. I had something ready for him, but I was like, that'd be nice. Thank you for enjoying my
Don't say
coffee.
it right.
Yep. Keep a
Yeah, sometimes
customer.
it's better to do that. But yeah,
Yeah.
I learned the hard way. See, I said those
I
things
was
younger
close.
than, yeah.
I was close.
Well, Patrick, thank you so much for being
Yeah.
with us today. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Look forward to seeing you have great success, not only here, but
Thank you.
nationwide.
I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right, and that wraps up another episode of Lux Life Discovered. Thank you for joining us. Follow us on YouTube, subscribe on our own Lux Life Discovered channel on 38 TV and all streaming platforms. So we look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.